John Yoo, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General under President George W. Bush. What's your reaction to what you just heard from Catherine?
Well, I think it shows that there was a fair amount of potential corruption in the Justice Department. As a former official, it grieves me to see what was going on, how politicized people were being. For example, if you had a high-level DOJ official like a Bruce Ohr who's heavily involved in law enforcement and counterintelligence investigations, whose wife is working for a political intelligence outfit being paid for by the Democrats, at the very least, he should have nothing to do with anything that involves his wife's firm, regardless of whether she's taking spousal immunity, regardless of who's taking the fifth. It's just common sense that no Justice Department official should be involved in anything involving his or her spouse's work.
Wait, I mean, let me stop you right there and ask you. I mean, is that the practice, and is that what is expected? Because I have heard those on the other side make the defense, you can't punish someone for what their spouse does. That's not fair. There's lots of people who live in Washington, and they have both parties working, and it may overlap. And you're saying that it would be within the Justice Department, they would say, or the FBI, you cannot have anything to do with this because your wife's involved on the other side.
Oh, yes. It's not just common sense. These are the conflict of interest rules. We're not talking about punishing couples who both of whom are working in Washington, D.C. No one's saying Mrs. Ohr has to quit her job or Mr. Ohr has to quit his job. There's plenty of things at the Justice Department to do. There's a lot of bad guys to go out and catch. Why isn't Bruce Ohr just working on other cases? He doesn't have to be involved with Fusion GPS or anything like that. Just hand it off to some other impartial official who doesn't have to be married to the people who have been hired by the Clinton campaign to feed political intelligence.
So what if then he was the back channel into the FBI? Because that's the way it's been characterized by some who say that they have privy into the records, that here, this was all largely discredited, that Fusion had been shopping it around to a bunch of different people, that no one really took it as credible, and that it took Bruce Ohr back channeling it back into the FBI, that he was working this work product from a place where his wife was being paid and was working, that it took that in order to get it in. I mean, then what does that mean? Is there a punishment for that?
Exactly. That's for example, that is exactly why he should have recused himself, because no matter what the merits of looking into the dossier might or might not be, of course, we want to see all of it declassified, as well as the FISA warrants that were built upon it. No matter what he did, it's going to look questionable because of the chain of events that you just laid out and the connections that you've described. I think it's very close, if not, we're not over the line, I think, at this point, where there ought to be an independent counsel or a special counsel appointed to look into all of this, because, as you say, the appearance is that the Clinton campaign paid the wife of a Justice Department official to feed discredited information, and because of it, a highly classified anti-espionage warrant was used, which is only supposed to use in very special cases, to surveil the presidential campaign of the opposing party. That just looks terrible. That's exactly why there ought to be not just a congressional investigation, what you're talking about are hearings and so on, but there might have to be a criminal investigation by a Justice Department prosecutor.
By Justice Department, though, and they're involved, so that makes it all the more dicey. John Yoo, thank you for your time.